Hi. It's me, Victor Wilt. I have arrived. I'm here doing it live. Even though a pre-recorded show today sounds great. Yeah. Because that would mean I was sleeping, I would guess. Though my cats, they do love to wake me up early, no matter what day of the week. Koopa was good before there was a kitten around. He'd let me sleep. You know, now it's every day, whether it's Saturday and Sunday or a weekday, every day between 4 and 5. Let the cat mayhem begin. Ugh. Anyway, hope you had a good weekend. Mine was pretty good. Watched a lot of X-Files, which is a fantastic show. And yeah, that was pretty much the bulk of my weekend. Went to the farmer's market on Saturday. That was a good time as well. Always great seeing all of the people out and about. The weather was pretty good. So, you know, go check that out every Saturday through October. Downtown Idaho Falls, Memorial Drive. What else was going on? Not a whole lot. I think the highlight of the last few days was Gojira at the Olympics. Now, we're not going to dive into the whole Olympic ceremony because a lot of people are losing their minds about it. Please take some time to, you know, just do a little bit of research into what they were trying to portray with their art in the beginning of the Olympic ceremony, not just make assumptions and go crazy. But Gojira, nobody had a problem with that, right? No, they did. There was people, oh, look at scary music. Clearly evil. No, they were telling a story and doing it in an amazing artistic way. The Gojira performance at the Olympics was one of the coolest things I've ever seen. It was fantastic. I've watched it at least a dozen times. It was so good. As a metalhead, I just felt so proud. Because, you know, Friday during the morning show, we talked about Gojira going to be making an appearance at the Olympics. And I figured it was going to be like the Grammys. You know, like, oh, yeah, there's these metal categories, but, you know, you could go view them online. Sure, Gojira, you know, like played somewhere and there's a video online that you can check out. No, I mean, they were part of the opening ceremony, a massive part of the opening ceremony. And if you haven't seen this video, holy cow, one of the best metal performances in history. I mean, take that, Rammstein. It was so awesome. So good. Like, words cannot describe it. You just got to go watch it. I could explain and, you know, give a description of how this broke down, them playing on the side of a castle, but you just got to go watch it. I shared video in the K-Bear 101 Idaho Rock and Metal group. For some reason, you just can't really find it on YouTube. The Olympics got this thing like locked down or something, but it's all over Reddit, so yeah, you've got to check it out if you haven't yet done so. Very inspiring as a metalhead. Because, you know, when you hear of metal bands making an appearance on something, like I mentioned before, it's like the Grammys where it's pushed to the side. Or you get, you know, like a big mainstream metal band, something like, you know, Metallica or something. You know, like Gojira is a heavy progressive band. They're like radio aside from us, they ain't going to be playing no Gojira. Maybe now they will. Doubt it. You know, band could be the most talked about band on the internet right now. Radio just puts the head in the sand even deeper. But yeah, you know, to see that kind of a metal band make that type of appearance to the world, it was just beyond amazing. I loved it. So check it out if you haven't yet done so. I'm Victor Wilt. I don't know. I'm not really feeling it today. I think I slept weird, my back's sore, and I don't know, my stomach's bothering me. I thought I ate pretty good yesterday. What did I do? Whatever. You know, pound some water. I got my toast and bananas ready to go. Gosh. Anyway, happy Monday. Go watch the Gojira video. Morning. It's the Victor Wilt Show. I hope you're doing all right. Doing okay on a Monday. All right, let's dig in here. Let's see what Reddit considers a luxury that many people don't realize is a luxury. This is to actually make you feel a little bit better about your day here. You know, take a look around, realize how good you probably have it. Because I saw the top answer and it's like, all right, if we're going to get into this kind of stuff, you should, for the most part, those of you listening, probably, take a look at how good you got it and try to avoid complaining. Because if you're living anywhere close to how I'm living, your day-to-day life is probably a luxury compared to most people worldwide. Are you able to take a hot shower? Yeah, most people aren't. It's just something you don't think about. Kind of like just having fresh water. You know how you can go to the tap and just turn the faucet on and there's fresh, clean water? Most people don't have that. Yeah, most people. Most people. So be grateful. Stop your whining about, I don't know, what are people whining about today? I haven't got that far online to see what the latest complaints are. But if you're able to go to the faucet and get yourself a nice, refreshing, cold water, you've got it better than most of the world. It was funny. Somebody commented about fresh water, and I guess their boss was tired of buying bottled water. So had some type of a water expert come in, test the bottled water and test the tap water. Showed his employees, hey, the tap water is much better for you. Less contaminants. Shut up and drink the tap water. I mean, we've got a bottled water machine here. I use it because I think they add extra minerals and things to make that water seemingly taste a little bit better. And it's nice and, refrigerated cold. It's super luxury. Super luxury. Do you have a washer and dryer? You able to do your laundry not in a river? Yeah, you've got it better than most of the world. So settle down. Most of this is relating to water. I mean, our toilets are filled with better water than most of the world has. The toilet. You can think of what you do in that. All right. Isn't that crazy? Most of the world would love the water that's in our toilets, would love to just have access to that kind of water. It's ridiculous. All right, what other kind of luxuries do we have here? Okay, now we're getting into actual luxuries. If you don't have to pay attention to prices when you're shopping for groceries, yes, you are living it up, okay? I certainly pay attention to prices when I'm buying groceries, especially in this day and age. Groceries are not getting any cheaper. Jeez. Yeah, okay. Free time? Yeah, that is a luxury. Peaches ask me all the time, why aren't you, streaming, blah, blah, blah. Why don't you do this and that with your spare time at home? Like, Peaches, raising kids for the last 20 years. I'm going to sit in my recliner and watch TV, all right, dude? I'm going to relax, taking a little bit of a breather. Not to mention, I'm always doing some kind of crap around the house. It's not like I just sit around. But take advantage of sitting around if you can. All right, anyway. Just want to remind you how good you got it. Fresh water. The end. Well, the orcas are still angry. They're still out there sinking boats. And I don't know what to say. I don't want to get on the side where I'm like, yeah, down with people. But we are seeing just ever-increasing numbers of animals that seem to be fed up with us humans. Orcas sinking a $128,000 yacht in the Mediterranean Sea. Now, is a $128,000 yacht a very fancy yacht? I mean, it doesn't seem like it. With the current price of everything, I would assume a $128,000 yacht is just kind of like a regular old boat. I mean, I'm sure if it was your boat that was worth 128 grand, you'd be very upset that it was sunk by the old killer whales there. See, a 39-foot boat. They just started smashing into it. The captain of the ship, Robert Powell, he's out celebrating his birthday. All right, it's my birthday. Let's go out on the boat. Next thing you know, he's saying they knew exactly what they were doing. They knew the weak points and they knew how to sink it. They all just took turns smashing it. Boom, sunk. This is wild. Yeah, this orcas sinking boats is a new thing. And I think it just adds to the wackiness of the times we're living in. That I don't know. Again, I want people to be able to go out and enjoy themselves. But I don't know. I don't know what even word I'm looking for here is. It's just very interesting that the chaos, it goes beyond just human society. It's erupting into the animal world. And maybe animal is the wrong term for an orca. I don't know, but I do enjoy seeing this aspect of the crazy times we're in. Yeah, what's next? Because they're doing this left and right. What is next? Very smart animals. And I hate to say good on them, but yeah, I get fed up with people too. It's just a boat, right? Nobody was hurt this time. All right, I should settle down. D-bag of the day. Nebraska teen allegedly derailed trains to get insane footage for YouTube. Oh, man. There's a lot of drama going on in the world of YouTube right now. A lot of creators getting in a lot of trouble. And good! Take down the dirt bags. That's what Victor Wilt says. Talking about myself in the third person. Man, that's cringe. Okay, anyway, let's get back to this teen. 2 felony charges for allegedly derailing trains in Nebraska. He's 17 years old, has not been identified because of his age, but he did post a 5-minute video calling it the most insane video I've ever taken. So he films a couple trains coming off the rails. How did he derail? Maybe they aren't saying because they don't want other idiots to follow up. And maybe I shouldn't say, even if it is in the article here, how to derail a train. Because we've got enough issues with trains derailing as is. All right. Anyhow, if jail time is the result of your attempt to go viral, you need to attempt a different route when it comes to your online content creation. You know, lots of views don't mean nothing when you can't continue to post videos. You got to keep that momentum going. All right. Got to keep things regular. Otherwise, YouTube not going to be happy with your upload count, and they're going to drive you down in reach. So, yeah, you don't want to end up in the slammer. You want to be able to be out making more videos. And also, there are cameras everywhere nowadays. You might as well just not try to engage in crime, all right? You will be busted. Just give up, okay? Everything is being filmed all the time. Your phone is tracking you everywhere you go. You're not going to win, okay? Get back to making the dance videos, all right? It's the only option you got left. Stupid TikTok dances. All right, pulling into the drive-thru here. I'd like to get a cheeseburger, no onions, large fry, I guess a Dr. Pepper. And could I get a side of blood with that? This mother in New York claims her child's meal from Burger King also came with some extra toppings. Covered in blood. Went to a Burger King in Gettsville, New York. Went through the drive-thru, and she said she looked and there was just blood all over everything. All over the hamburger, the wrapper. There's blood on the toys. There's blood everywhere. And the article points out that the child took a bite of some of the food. All right. That's why you always look through the Happy Meal bag, I guess, before you give it to the kids. That's not raspberry topping. The child's going to have blood work for a year to make sure it didn't pick up any kind of disease. Yeah, if you're working fast food and you cut your hands, don't just keep making the food, okay? You need to tell your boss, hey, I just sliced my hand open. I don't think they want, the blood-soaked bun with their burger. I got to go find the first aid kit. Can you imagine? I mean, it's pretty metal to open up your bag of food and there's just blood all over the place, but it's not appetizing, all right? You know, it does kind of ruin the food unless you're a complete freak show, all right? So, yeah, take a look at any items before you hand them to your little ones to eat. You never know. I mean, generally, I'm trying to think, have I ever found my food covered in blood after picking it up at a fast food restaurant? I don't think so. But I am forgetful. You know, there's only a few other people in the building. I wonder if I just took a nap till, about 8 when everybody gets here. Do you think anybody would notice? I mean, have you ever heard a radio DJ snoring on air? Just chainsawing? What if I did 20 minutes of snoring? It'd be a unique form of new content. Yeah. I could say it was a bit. Yeah, I thought I'd try something funny. Just, the full-on snoring and sleep apnea attack on the air with the music bed in the background to keep it exciting. Of course. Ugh. I don't know. I mean, I could have gone to bed earlier last night. I went to bed at a decent time, but must have just not slept great. So tired. Okay, anyway. Enough of these complaints. Enough of my drivel. Okay, we already talked about blood in the kids' meal. What else do we got here? I've got a million tabs open. The 7 coolest places to coolcation in Europe. Now, what's a coolcation? Does that mean it's not hot there? I would hope so. Now, these are in Europe. It's not like, okay, go to Antarctica. Haha, there's a coolcation. All right, Norway. Norway does look pretty nice. I would love to visit that region of the world. Norway, Sweden, etc. All right, they're saying average temperature in August is between 53 and 68 degrees. That sounds pretty good. Don't sound bad at all. Does it get pretty miserable there in the winter? It must. Ugh. Scotland looking pretty good too. Iceland? Wow, Iceland. 46 to 55. Nice and cool. All right. The Swiss Alps, which also, of course, when we're talking scenery, look amazing. Madeira, Portugal. All right. Coolcation. I mean, you could obviously just go to the Oregon coast. It's probably nice and cool there. What's the forecast in Newport today? Newport, Oregon. Weather. Go. Oh, yeah, looking at a high of 61 and rainy. Rest of the week, highs in the mid-60s and just partially cloudy. That Oregon coastal gloom. Oh, it sounds so nice. I mean, we had a pretty good weekend around here weather-wise. Yeah, it was in the 80s, which is much better than the 90s. But is it going to just start cooking again? Probably. What are we looking at this week? Well, it's all over the place. Today, 89, tomorrow, 80. By the end of the week, back up to 97. Fantastic. Okay. How many times did I go, in this break? Screw it. I'm just going to go get more coffee. I don't care. I got to do something. Got to do something to be able to power through today. Because nap time ain't coming. Dang it. All right, there's your weather forecast. All right, as I began my digging for freak news, which is coming up in, 10, 15 minutes or so, saw an article about this guy. He got busted at the Seattle airport, arriving from Europe, trying to bring in a whole bunch of drugs. So apparently, They let him go. I maybe bonded out. I don't know. But 5 days later, he shows back up at the same airport. All right, note, if you have been busted at an airport with, we're talking pounds of drugs. If you come back a few days later, they're going to take a look at you, all right? You were already busted once with a lot of drugs. How this guy ended up back out and traveling again 5 days later, I don't know. It doesn't make any sense to me. If you're packing pounds and pounds on an overseas flight, seems kind of shady to me. But I guess he was feeling really confident because, round 2 ended the same. Is he back out again? I don't know. You would think if you're packing pounds of drugs on an international flight, you're going away for a while, but I don't know. Maybe they're pretty chill in Seattle. Heck if I know. Anyway, Freak News will be coming up here in about 15 minutes, so get ready. How will it be? I don't know. Hopefully we can find something other than politics. Right now is one of those times. I will say, however, that I wish I could dive into politics because some of the stories floating around in the political world are perfect for Freak News, and they're so funny. But people would lose their minds. They're hilarious. I'll keep digging. Freak News, powered by Grease Monkey, voted Idaho's best oil change. What is up? I am Victor Wilt. All right, let's begin here. Should we talk about heat killing people? Now, I'm aware that heat kills people, but I was unaware how many people have recently died from heat. It's getting kind of crazy out there. Be careful if you're going to go outside. Limit your time. Drink lots of water. I'm not going to get into all of the grisly details, but these are people who, they thought they knew what they were doing. And now they dead. All right? Just be careful out there. We got hot temperatures back on the way soon. You don't want to just be out for a stroll and die. That a couple people I read about just walking. Just went for a walk, dead. And this wasn't in Phoenix. This wasn't in Death Valley. Just places where it got to be up over 100 degrees, okay? That means you could be in Boise, where it's been over 100. I don't know, maybe it finally toned down there. But they were having like 107-degree days for a couple weeks on end. You don't want to just be wandering around Twin Falls and just die, all right? Be careful. All right, let's see here. Turkey attacks car on Boston Street in viral video. The person who filmed the attack said, not on my list of things to be prepared for in the city. I was in Boston a couple months ago and was very surprised as we strolled through a downtown well, I guess obviously it'd be an outdoor garden, but this, middle of the city gardening area where people could set up their own little gardens. Rabbits just running amok like crazy right there by the ballpark. Not what I expected to see right in the middle of one of the biggest cities in the country. Rabbits running amok, but it was cool. So turkeys, of course, and turkeys are frightening large birds, all right? They get mad, they attack, you're going to have a bad time. And they're freaky looking. Got multicolored heads. You don't want to be getting messed up by a turkey, all right? You should be prepared for turkeys everywhere. I know we've got them around here. Wild turkeys. There's a reason that they named a whiskey after those animals, all right? They go hand in hand in the land of crazy. Wild turkey. If there's wild turkey, it's not going to be good, all right? Whether it's the actual bird or the whiskey. Chaos about to come your way. So, watch out for turkeys, even in Boston. Let's see. What do we got here? More dead people? Body found at In-N-Out Burger sparks investigation. Let's see. It must have been heat related. It just says that the guy was just kind of walking there 10:30 a.m. and then he just died. In-N-Out Burgers are all in hot places like Arizona, California, Utah. Where was this? Oh, it was in California. I'm going to guess dead from heat. I ain't going outside anytime soon. Tell you what, there's a lot of people dying by heat. Sorry, I had like 4 tabs open about dead people from heat. Let's go back to, there's a new Bigfoot video making the rounds. They say it's a possibility that a documentary may have accidentally captured Bigfoot on film. It comes from a 2001 nature documentary called Great North, which delves into the landscape of the Arctic and long-standing Inuit traditions. I see a black shape on the video. As is typical, Bigfoot's blurry, because that's how Bigfoot is in real life, just a big blurry creature. So, looks like a legit sighting to me because it's blurry. How did the Sasquatch convention thing go in Pokey over the weekend? Forgot about that. I mean, I did my best to not really go outside. Did some grocery store action. That was about it. Watered the plants. The end. Well, I hope it was fun. Anyway, Freak News is powered by Grease Monkey, voted Idaho's best oil change. And I'm going to go take a few more sips of the second batch of coffee that I whipped up for the day. Hopefully my guts don't hate it too badly. I was just reading an article that I found, sort of interesting. It was about vacationing, and this family had taken a trip to some small town where another part of their family had grown up. They visited due to a funeral. And this was a place called Pine Bluff in Texas. And several times the person who wrote the article says in their childhood it was voted America's worst place to live. Now, they brought their grandmother with them for this funeral. And when they were on their way back home, she thanked them. She was 93 years old, and she's like, I've never been on vacation before. And they got thinking about this, and like, well, yeah, I guess it technically is a vacation. We went out of town. We stayed at a hotel. And the grandmother, who had never been out of town, thought it was awesome. In this day and age, if you're scrolling your social media feeds, you see all these influencers in these just ridiculous locations, on these extravagant vacations. Check it out, I'm in Bali. Look at it, it's amazing. Here I am on the streets of Paris. You don't have to spend a lot of money to go on vacation, okay? And let's say you're listening right here in East Idaho. You don't need to fly to the other side of the world to go to some pretty cool locations on a little trip. Short road trips, you could get out of town and really enjoy your time. All right? Wouldn't cost you a ton of money to take a day trip to Yellowstone, for example. I still talk to people who have never been to Yellowstone, like Peaches. Peaches has lived here for 3 years or so, has not just driven to Yellowstone. He's never been there. There are a lot of people in the area. Never been to Yellowstone. Let's bring up an Idaho map here. Now, I know hotels can be expensive. Use something like Hotwire. Find yourself a cheap room somewhere. You don't need to stay in a fancy hotel to be able to go on vacation. And the hotel, that's just where you sleep at the end of the day, right? I mean, it is nice to be able to relax at the hotel, but as long as it's not infested with bed bugs and terrible, it's going to be all right, even if you just spend the time in the room, kick back, watching TV. But pulling up the map here, I mentioned Yellowstone. That seems like the closest, big epic place. People come from all over the planet to go to Yellowstone. So if you don't take a lot of vacations and you're looking for just a cheap, easy trip out of town, it'll cost you $25 or something to get in the park? Don't quote me on that because I haven't looked up the rates in a while. But gas and then your entry fee, you could bring along your own food, and all day you're going to have an amazing time. Even if you're just driving, listen to tunes, you're seeing some, amazing landscapes, amazing outdoors. You could spend the extra dough, get into Grand Teton. If you're going to go stay in Jackson, you're probably going to pay for it. But that's why you stay outside of Jackson. You know, go find yourself a cheap room. I don't know. Rexburg. There you go. Go stay in Rexburg, then make the drive back in. Or you can go up to West Yellowstone area. You could probably find some decent lodging in somewhere like Island Park. Island Park, another great area to just get out of town, take a little vacation. You know, jump on a back road somewhere. Just go for a drive. I don't know. You could sleep in your car. It's kind of hot out, though. You don't want to die. We already talked about people dying in the heat. But, yeah, I wish that social media didn't warp people's brains in the way that it does. Because, again, for vacations, you don't need to be doing what these influencers are doing. All right? You can have a great, enjoyable vacation just going somewhere close by and not spending a lot of money. But beyond things like vacation, I mean, I want to remind everybody that people tend to only post the best stuff happening in their lives on social media. There are people who are kind of, into drama that will post their problems. But for the most part, people are like, check it out, we're on vacation, or check it out, I just got this awesome new thing, or check it out, this is all going great. Try to always remember that when you're scrolling the social media feed. What people see is not reality. Like, if I posted all the downer stuff that happens to me, my social media feed would look very different. No, it's all, look, I've got a kitten, check it out, here I am at a show, announcing the band, I'm on stage, look at me, this is so cute, I'm at a concert, yay. That's not my day-to-day life, okay? This morning, my stomach's kind of bothering me a little bit. I'm really tired. I mean, even if I just post here I am at work, it looks a lot more fun than some days it is. Mondays. Those are the days it's not fun. All right. I have been drinking more coffee. Is it helping? Maybe. It's just Monday. We just got to power through. All right? We all got each other's backs. We're going to get through this. How One Little Phrase Revolutionized My Commute by Hannah Ewens from The Guardian. All right, what do we got going on here? A social experiment. So, you've got people on the bus that are watching TikTok, talking to their friends, listening to music. They're doing all of this on their phone with the volume turned up. So this brave woman decided to start asking people, hey, would you mind listening with headphones on? Okay, this is a story out of the UK. All right, the end. People in the US, I can only imagine how the reaction would be if you were on a bus, I don't know, New York City, LA. Excuse me, sir, could you please listen with your headphones on? Don't you talk to me! Ah! Oh, there'd be fights breaking out. It'd be chaos. I mean, I told the story of when I was walking around at Riverfest. I'm wearing a shirt that says staff. Riverbend Media Group. We're at a big media event that we're hosting. And I'm filming because we document the events that we throw. So I'm walking around filming. And some, punk kids start yelling at me, you filming me without my consent? You want to fight? I'm like, oh my, you gotta be kidding me. I got teenagers trying to start fights with me. And by the way, you can be filmed in public, period, the end. Get out of here. If you don't want to be filmed, stay in your own house, all right? It's not against the law. I should have just ran up to him and, been really obnoxious, but I'm a professional. So anyway, I don't recommend that if you're out and about and somebody is talking on speakerphone or watching TikTok, you don't know what kind of crazies you're dealing with. I don't recommend asking someone to use headphones, all right? Because I would imagine if they had the headphones, they'd probably use them, Speaking of which, I don't know what I did with my earbuds. It's making me kind of crazy. Try to get out and mow the lawn, and I got the, big long cord and the earmuff style full over the ear headphones. It's all hot outside. You're just sweating. It's like putting on earmuffs to go mow the lawn. It's stupid. So anyway, try to be courteous to others. use headphones in public, I think is what this ultimately comes down to. But also, just because this woman in the UK was like, I was surprised to find that people were like, oh, sure, I'm glad to use headphones. People in the US would not do this. No way. Chances are you're going to have someone get very aggressive with you, very offended and very aggressive, because people get offended by everything nowadays. Everything. That's why we've been doing that new bit, 0 to negative. How many comments on a social media post does it take for someone to say something negative about anything? And it's usually within 3 comments, somebody being negative about every possible story you could imagine. No matter how positive that story might be, people will find the negative. So just don't mess with anybody in public, all right? No sense getting yourself, punched in the head or something. All right, we're getting through it, bit by bit, getting through the Monday. Smoky day, even though the temperature's down. That air quality, not so wonderful. I just remembered, I'm like, why am I feeling kind of cruddy? Need to take a Zyrtec. Yeah, it assists me, anyhow, with air quality issues that make me feel cruddy. So I don't know, talk to your doctor. Maybe some allergy meds might help out, or just stay inside, because the whole West on fire? Biggest fire in the country, I read, is near Huntington, Oregon, right across the border from Boise. So creeping close here. Please, if you're out and about, don't be an idiot. Be cautious. Don't start any more fires. I mean, there's not a lot of space left to light on fire, okay, based on what I'm seeing on the fire maps. And yeah, the air quality issues that we deal with here when everything's on fire, it's not pleasant, okay? Also, enjoy our outdoors. I like them, so I don't want to see them burnt to a crisp. So, no exploding targets, no more fireworks. Put your campfires out. Don't drive through dry brush, all right? Be responsible. Be safe out there. I wouldn't even go outside in the heat. We already talked about people dying in the heat. Another article popped up about, I think it was like 13 people rescued in Arizona over the weekend, out hiking. I get it that summertime's a great time to go out and enjoy the great outdoors, but you might die. So keep that in mind, okay? Come on, guys, we got to get our exercise at the mall, okay? You can walk around inside the mall. Don't put your family at risk, all right? Yeah, there were toddlers rescued in the Arizona desert. Don't take your babies out in 110-degree heat for a nice stroll, okay? And also, yeah, back to the fire thing, just please use a little bit of common sense, all right? My air purifier been running full steam in my house, and it's still registering like cruddy air all the time, even if I keep everything closed and just run it nonstop. Ugh. Anyway, I'm going to go take that Zyrtec that I mentioned. Be a good idea. I think it's a day when coffee just isn't going to do anything to me. I started drinking some more. No. Getting nothing out of it. Nothing out of it. Think I just need a good old-fashioned nap. I'm kind of anti-nap. I know that doesn't make any sense. But I feel like, when I take a nap, I've wasted a portion of my day, even though it's like good for you. I don't know what my deal is. I could have been using all that time to watch TV. It's not like I would have done anything productive. Why not take a nap? And really, the only time when I'm like, I'm down. I will go ahead and allow myself to take a nap is when I'm at work and there's no way I can take a nap. If I was at home, I'd probably fight to keep myself awake just so I could sit there and accomplish nothing. Sorry, I shouldn't even talk about nap time. It's kind of messed up because it's Monday, and I would imagine many people are feeling the same as me. Like, naps sound great. Naps sound wonderful. All right, so let's see. What can we do to energize ourselves? I've been looking through the news. That's not a good way to energize yourself. That's a good way to exhaust yourself. Yeah, lots of Lots of politics and lots of just downer crap in the news. Jeez. Thankfully, we're in the final 100-day stretch of the presidential election, right? And everything's just going to calm down after that. Yeah. Nope. All right. I apologize, but I just got a whole lot of nothing on this break. All that people are talking about online seems to be the presidential election. I did see a list of the best frozen pizzas. It was garbage. Most frozen pizza is terrible. Like, you might as well just buy Totino's, okay? It's like $1.50. Pretty much on par with most other frozen pizza, unless you spend like $10 on a frozen pizza. Which at that rate, then you go, well, why didn't I just buy a pizza from an actual pizza place? It's a fine line, finding yourself a pizza for a good value. Grocery store, usually not the route you want to take. I mean, again, $8 for a garbage frozen pizza. Most of them are pretty terrible. What kinds have I had recently that I thought were good? I've been trying different kinds because I'm all oven. That's how I cook nowadays. I have a microwave collecting dust. It's all oven. So a lot of pizza going down. And I've been trying different brands. Uno, that's pretty good. That's a pretty good pizza, I gotta say. You gotta cook it just right, though. Because the crust, it's weird. It's a weird pizza. It's almost better when you reheat it in the oven than it is with round one. I guess that's the only brand that comes to mind that I've tried that was a little outside the box and was like, this is good. Rest of it, trash. Other than quality $1.50 Totino's. Can't go wrong at that price. See, now I'm making myself hungry. I'm tired and hungry. Useless combo. I'm going to get out of this break. I'm out of here. Oh, man. Digging deep for content here. It's one of those days. It's a rough one. Sorry that it's not grade A today on this program. It's like grade D. It's not the worst show I've ever done, but it ain't the best, that's for sure. Not anywhere close. Somebody asked on Reddit, physically unattractive guys with high-earning careers, how's the dating scene like for you? All right, listen. If somebody is only dating you because of your money, you're going to have a bad time, okay? Physically unattractive dudes. All right. I don't think that I'm particularly good looking. All right? Dudes, if you want to pick yourself up a lady, there are a variety of things you can do. Okay? Number one, you got to be a little bit confident. All right? You know, you have to be able to actually speak to them. So if that's difficult for you, I would work on that, being a little more outgoing. Because you do need to be able to converse with a lady, okay? That's like the bare minimum. But then you have to take that skill and you have to bring it forth in the right direction by not being a piece of crap, okay? You need to be nice. You need to be empathetic, and you need to be able to listen, all right? Young guys that are listening to this show, I know that in the last few years, these manly influencers have popped up. Like, you know, idiots like that guy, Andrew Tate. Total loser, all right? Do not take advice from any of these guys on how to be a man, okay? These guys are losers, all right? And they're going to live very unhappy lives to the end of their days, okay? I don't need to even dive in and elaborate on how horrible some of those people are. They're not good people. Andrew Tate is a dirtbag. Like, he's a piece of garbage. But I'm telling you, if there's a guy influencer telling you how you need to be more manly, why don't you just shut that video down? Go look at videos where women are talking about what they would like in a guy. You'll find a lot of universal themes there, okay? And tough guy stuff is not generally what they're looking for. Maybe somebody who'd make them laugh. Somebody who would listen to them, I think, is pretty high on the list. Somebody who would try to listen and attempt to be understanding and supportive. All right? Sorry, just some of these threads that I see online. It's like, who cares about the money end of things? That's not going to get you anywhere if that's what you're looking for as a factor when you're trying to find somebody to spend your time with. All right? Find somebody who you agree with on a majority of things. You know, you can talk with about things that are of interest to you, things that, as far as entertainment goes, you both enjoy, and someone who treats you nicely, and vice versa. Treat other people nicely, all right? Don't be a piece of crap, is what this ultimately comes down to. All right. Anyway, I didn't even read through the thread there, because if you got these guys like, yeah, I'm ugly, but I got a lot of money, so yeah, I got no problem getting dates. They never come back, you know? They never come back around, but yeah. Hide the money thing. Just try to get out there and find somebody who likes you for you, all right? You're going to have a bad time if you don't find somebody who likes you for you as you are. The end. I'm alive. I swear I'm alive. I'll prove it. Don't prove that you're alive like this guy, Baburam Bill from India. I guess the government said he was dead, and he wanted to prove he was alive, so he went out and picked up a knife and some gasoline and just started terrorizing a local school. Just went on a crime spree until law enforcement arrived and arrested him, and then he's like, see, I'm alive. He figured committing crime serious enough to get himself arrested would leave police with no other choice than to put his name down in the police record showing he was alive. Now, I don't know if they've actually done this, and apparently people being pronounced dead in India, it's not the first time this has happened. There's some guy often seen walking through a town called Agra with a placard that reads, "I'm alive." Looks like they come in and take people's property and things like that. I don't know. Maybe it's some type of a corruption issue or what, but I mean, you don't want to end up in jail, alive. See, I proved it. I'm alive. And they updated my records. This is great. I'm in jail. I can't pay for my properties. They took them anyway. I don't know what you need to do in this situation, but if you ever need to prove that you exist, get a buddy to come with you down to a courthouse. I don't know, call a lawyer. Crime spree. It's just not the best choice. Unless you're looking for free accommodations that are gonna really suck. Thank you again for tuning in to the Victor Welch Show. This program's a production of River. Why can't I say that? God.
Have to say Riverbend Media Group.
Riverbend Media Group. This program's a production of God. This program's a production of Riverbend Media Group. To contact the show or for more information, hit us up at riverbendmediagroup.com.